All right, everybody. Well, welcome back. Today I have Steve Pacinelli, the CMO of BombBomb. Steve, I'm stoked to have you on today. I was looking at all the branding that you do on your website, and you guys have really built a media company around what you're doing at BombBomb. I mean, you're the epitome of what every company, in my opinion, should do. I mean, you have a blog, you have a podcast, you are extremely effective in showing people what your product is and what you do. I mean, when we were setting up this podcast here, you shot me an email back with a video, a BombBomb video, and it was great to see that. And I didn't even have to ask you about it. You just did it automatically. It was awesome. So I'm going to turn it back over to you. Feel free to introduce yourself and let the audience know who you are.
Yeah, it's funny. It started off that you checked out the website. When you said that, I cringed because we have a new website coming out and we just wrote all the pages and it's being developed right now. And so when I think about the old website, I'm like, ooh, you know, and then,
It still looks good.
Yeah, well, thanks. But it's like, oh man, it could be so much better. But yeah, I'm just excited for it to come out. But yeah, my name is Steve. I've been and we were just chatting about this. I was actually a BombBomb customer for 4 years before I came on to the company, and identified a few different problems in my business that I had before that. I ran a road show, and we would we had a 48 city tour, and I would go from city to city and speak on stages, teaching people teaching more specifically real estate agents how to use technology in their business. And we sold a bunch of products during those road shows, but the problem was, how do we sell the products after the road show? How do we follow up with them effectively? And that's when I stumbled upon using video rather than text-based email messages to communicate and connect more effectively than just sending someone an email, which people don't respond to and they don't interact in the same way. It was so much easier to sell them face to face. And then we didn't make very many sales after we left that city. And that changed once we started following up in a more human and a natural way and connecting with these people. And yeah, that was the start of it for me and my gradual transition into video communication.
Well, eventually, yeah, deeper into this, I want to get into the humanization of business and a consumer-focused brand, which I think is exactly what you guys are doing. Before we do that, I'd like to go back to the beginning of your journey and talk about the early stages of your marketing career and what brought you into the marketing world. Was there a specific moment that you knew you were born to be in marketing, or has it just happened over time?
No, I think I'm a sales guy masquerading as a marketer. Uh, I don't know if I'm technically great at marketing. I honestly feel like if I had to choose one or the other, which one are you better at? I don't know if I'm great at either, but if I had to choose one or the other, I would say I'm a better salesperson. And initially 20 years ago, I just thought of marketing as sales from afar. Now it's changed a lot over the past 2 decades, of course, but that's sort of what it was like, 20 years ago. And so I was always told, hey, you should be a salesperson. You should be a salesperson. My dad was a salesperson. And so, yeah, I kind of stumbled upon marketing from starting off as a salesperson, selling SaaS. I was selling a SaaS product in 2001. Started selling a SaaS product and then trying to find new solutions and creative ways of selling that product when the well dried up and I didn't have sales leads anymore. That was the impetus of like, wait, I got to start marketing. I got to start generating my own sales leads because they're not walking through the door the way it was in 2002, 3, 4, and 5 for me. And 2006 hit and it was like, oh my God, where are all the sales leads? And I think that was the start of my path down marketing. It's like, what can I do to generate interest in my product?
Yeah, let's unpack that a little bit. So you talked about how you're a salesperson. It seems like you're a purebred salesperson. What in your opinion is the difference between sales and marketing?
Man, that's a good question. I never really, besides, as I said a long time ago, I never really thought about that because in essence, at the core, I almost believe it's the same thing. It's just the division of roles. I mean, you're still trying to make a connection with the buyer. You're still trying to connect with your audience. You're still trying to prove value, no matter where that person is in the funnel, or if you believe in a bow tie funnel or the life cycle or whatever you want to call it. Every step of the way is about building trust and relationship and value. And it doesn't begin or end with the marketer, and it doesn't begin or end with the sales rep, because then it continues and goes through the CSM or the account manager. And it's the same throughout the entire funnel. I think it's just the tactics that you use are different.
Yeah. I think one big difference is a lot of times sales is face-to-face, as you probably know. And marketing is, as you mentioned, it's from afar. So you might be trying to interact with a lot more people at a much larger scale with the marketing that you're doing, instead of sales, which is more direct with the people. So go ahead.
And that would depend. I would agree for the most part, but there's also those instances, depending on what your ACV is on your deal. If you're selling a product that's hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars, then marketing is also creating those intimate moments and conversations, with the prospective customer.
So going deeper into that, a lot of what you are doing at BombBomb, and I want to ask a question about the way you perceive your company, like what industry you're actually in, because a lot of it's centered around the humanization of business, and a direct customer experience. And the product that you guys have right now, it's basically a Chrome extension, if I'm correct, and you can send videos with the emails that you're sending to potential clients or customers. So first I want to unpack it a little bit and ask you about the way you perceive your company. Where do you fit in? Are you are you an email company, or are you much bigger than that? Where do you feel like your company sits in this matrix of the world?
Yeah, that's a good question. And one of the differentiators, we do have a Chrome extension, but we aren't just an extension. We're actually an email service provider as well. That's how BombBomb started, to drop videos into emails. Now it's more expansive than that now, because you can drop videos anywhere you want, and still have a BombBomb experience with the animated preview and things like that. So, in essence, we're a video messaging platform, but that's not what we're selling. And it's funny, I've been going through these exercises a lot lately, so it's something that's very close to me right now. We're not actually selling video messaging, because there's 19 different video messaging products out there, and there's free video messaging products out there as well. We sell video coaching in essence. So if you think about it,
interesting.
If you sign up and that's why we wrote the book, Rehumanize Your Business. That's why we have the podcast. That's why, to your point, we have over 500 blog posts on the topic. We're going to just finish typing. It's not graphically set yet, but it's going to be 100 plus page adoption guide on how teams can implement video. And if you think about it, when you communicate through text, there's one dimension. It's the words that you select, right? That's control that you have when you communicate through text-based email, text messaging, or LinkedIn messages. When you communicate over the phone, you have two dimensions, because now it's the words that you're selecting, and then it's also the tone that you choose to impart on those words. So you can control the tone and the delivery of the message over the phone. But with video, there's three dimensions, because it's the tone of the message, it's the visualization that the person is getting, and it's the word selection at the same time. So there's having three dimensions. It's more complex, and people are still afraid of adopting and implementing video. Every time we sell a product, people are like, oh, well, I know so-and-so will use it, but so-and-so and so-and-so, or this team or this group of people won't use it. And the key is video is for anyone that communicates face-to-face, which is all of us, because we're all better face-to-face. If you were in front of more people more often, you do more business. And so we help people overcome the fear. We help people adopt video. We help people use video appropriately. All the mistakes that I made in 2011, 12, and 13, and 14 on when to send video, how to intro the video, how to close the video. Those are mistakes that you don't have to make if you choose us. A lot of our competitors are 1 or 2 years in the business. I probably have a single sales rep, Danny Dorkson, who sent out 17,000 videos himself for the purpose of building connections. And he's probably sent more videos than some of our competitors' entire companies himself.
Yeah.
So you learn a lot from that. And so what I've come to realize is it's in the training, it's in the education, it's in the adoption, when not to use video, when to use video, how to set it up in your sequences. There's a lot of training involved, and ultimately I think it comes down to that.
So you're almost like a video communication consultancy. Would that be
in a
somewhat
way
accurate description of a part of your business and what you try to do to help the clients that you have?
We're not there yet. You know,
Okay.
we have a ways to go to be that. But that is the vision. You know, we want to build contextual coaching in the product as well. So when you need that help, the video pops up right there, and it's someone talking about your specific problem. And once we get to that level and we have contextual coaching and we have more human approach to customer service, because we do believe, you know, if you're buying BombBomb, you're buying a premium product, you're buying something that you should rely on people. You know, we're all about rehumanization of business. And so we want to provide that premium experience and the results that come with it.
I'm so glad that you guys are doing that, because I know a lot of companies are shifting towards artificial intelligence and automation, and a lot of the products and applications and websites that they're putting out there, they're just trying to make it as easy as possible for the company to answer the questions that a consumer might have. But I love that you're sticking with the human piece of it. And I think, I mean, I personally think it's a great way to go, because I love hanging out with people. And I love seeing people face to face. I'm unfortunately not able to be in the same room as you right now, but this is much better than being on a phone call. And it's much better than just doing just back and forth. So I'm all in on what you guys are doing and the mission that you have as a company.
Yeah, it's the antithesis of that a bit, but you know, it's the right tool for the right product, the right person. If someone has a transactional product or service that they're selling, where it's like one-off,
Right.
and they don't need to come back and like keep buying it, then BombBomb's probably not the right tool for them. And they're going to want to dial in and automate because they're selling a $9 a month widget. You know, our core customer, as I mentioned earlier, is someone that relies on relationship and connection to do their business, that in general has a higher either commission product or annual contract value for their product, that relies on that personal communication, that service, and that connection. And we believe that people and companies are better when they're face to face. And so, not for everybody, but yeah, for the right person, it's a much better way to communicate.
Right. And I unfortunately haven't been able to read your book yet, but I'm curious from your perspective, what have you found that really humanizes a business outside of these video emails? What have you found other than that humanizes a business and actually allows you to build relationships with people?
Yeah, I think it's the way that you treat your customers, the way that you wear your heart on your sleeve, believing in something and sharing that with the world. Marketing videos, so we focus on relationship videos, one-to-one video messages. It's not, sometimes when people buy BombBomb, they're like, I want to take this video and blast it out. Okay, you can do that, but that's not why you should be buying BombBomb. But marketing videos can also help in that instance. You know, if you put a great marketing video up of your team and what you believe in on your website, and it's polished and it was filmed with high-end digital cameras and fancy effects, like that can still build trust and rapport in a relationship with your prospects. And so it's a combination of relationships through video, one-to-one personal video messages. Then you have marketing through video, so people can see who you are and what you stand for, because people will align with what you stand for, or you repel people if they don't believe in what you believe. And that's great too. You know, you want to attract people that are like-minded and believe what you believe. And so And you could do that through not only your website, but of course, as social media and other methods of connecting. And it's also just being visible. Visibility beats ability. And if your team is visible on LinkedIn and visible on social networks, and you're taking part in chats, and you used to go to events, and I'm on a digital event here coming up to tomorrow. If you're visible there and people can see you and hear you, that's also what builds relationships.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about more specifically what you're doing right now amidst everything that's going on. I mean, you can't really meet people in person, and it's going to be impossible to, I mean, there's not going to be anybody holding events for at least the next few months here, just for the safety of everybody that would be going to them. But you pretty much touched on everything I would have asked about, because a lot of your answers were primarily digital. I just had a conversation with the CMO from Climacell, and he was talking about what they were doing for marketing over there. And one of the most successful things they did is that they sent a DVD of Back to the Future to all of their prospective clients. They sent it to like 100 executives for the companies that they're trying to work with. And that's not necessarily humanizing something, but it's just a different approach at marketing to somebody and disrupting them in a way that's different from what they've been trained to think through as a marketing email or just a marketing campaign in general. So I'm wondering what else have you found other than what you're doing at BombBomb that causes people to be disrupted in their actions and causes them to move forward with a company?
Yeah, and actually, I'd love to visit that. That's awesome. I love that idea. The DVD, we sent out VHS tapes.
Really?
Yeah, we want to. They're orange. They were BombBomb orange, but it had the URL, the video on there, and it's like,
oh, okay.
don't have to use this anymore. Yeah. So I forget what we said on the paper part of the VHS tape, but our team put it together. But I love that idea of the DVD too, because it's a pattern disrupt, right? As marketers, we sometimes become lemmings, and someone does this and then everyone follows in the same thing, and it's not unique or different. And going back to that visibility beats ability, novelty, if you stand out because you did something different or that wasn't seen before, as humans, we're pre-programmed to recognize differences. If something's the same, there's a loud noise, you look over because it's a startling difference. And that's what that DVD was. You stood out because there was a difference. That's what we train in our videos too. When you record videos, the first 3 seconds of your video, we have you, I think I did this hold up a whiteboard or like point to something around, because that's it. It's a pattern disrupt. It's like, oh my God, what are they doing? What are they pointing to? Oh, they have my name on a whiteboard. That's a pattern disrupt. Because that email inbox is full of 99% marketing messages. And so when you get that 1% that's really personal communication and it's conveyed instantly to the recipient, that's that pattern disrupt. So yeah, so we did the VHS tape, sort of like the DVD. We've tried numerous things, not all of them as successful as we would like. But tried the freemium side product to upgrade, which we did that for a while, and it really wasn't core to who we are, and the product wasn't core to who we are. So that one didn't pan out quite as well as we would like. I'll give you my favorite one that I've been doing personally for the past, June, so almost 6 months now, to get attention. And I started something on January. Actually, I have it up on my screen. Is this only in a podcast, or can people see?
People will be able to see it.
Okay.
If you want them to. Otherwise, I can cut it out.
I have email addresses on here. You know what?
No, I wasn't really planning on putting it in the video, but I assumed that you wanted to be on video, so I was just going to throw it up on YouTube. But either way, whichever you want. I can throw just a logo over this, or I can do the live video, whichever you want.
Yeah, well, here, I'll bring it up on the screen. Can I share my screen real quick?
Yeah, for sure.
It says host.
I don't know if I need to give you Yeah, I'll probably have to give you access.
Yeah, so in terms of getting attention, well, I'll just tell you the results. Since the beginning of January, I've been sending out cold emails to people that I've never met before, never engaged with before on any level at all. And these people are CEOs, founders, authors of books, and the most prolific people in their respective spaces. And I just calculated it this morning. Do you want to know what my reply rate is through, it's a combination of email and Facebook from people that I've never met before and that I sent a cold message to? Reply rate, not opener.
I'm curious. Fill me in.
76%.
Holy cow.
So here it is.
Okay, so for more context, how many people did you reach out to?
86 so far.
Okay.
So 88 minus 2 because there's 2 rows on the top. So here's what I've been doing. And you asked about how you can stand out. The way that you can stand out is be interested in other people. The way that you can stand out is to truly tell other people and show them somehow that you have heard them, that you listened to them, you heard them, and you understand them. And this is what I call my gratitude campaign. I've been practicing gratitude for years, but the beginning of this year, I decided to, and you can see I got a whole list of people here, all the videos I sent to each one, and this is if they replied or not over here in this.
Holy cow.
In this column. And you can see who I'm sending it to, like the CEO of H&R Block did not respond to me, unfortunately. But I'm trying. Like these aren't like easy folks to get in touch with.
Right.
But the results that you're seeing. And so here's the deal. I started in the beginning of January, and I said, okay, what can I do this year to be a bit, to shake up my gratitude habit? And I'm like, well, I listen to podcasts every day. And it's amazing that you can listen to a podcast and hear a guest who is the CEO or CMO or VP of sales at some of the biggest companies on the planet and hear what they have to say about being successful. Like, it truly is amazing. We've never had access to this type of information in the history of mankind.
That's exactly why I'm doing this right now. I mean, I'm currently a student at the U of M, and I wanted to give all of the other students at the U of M the opportunity to listen to people like yourself. I mean, I was gonna have these conversations anyways. It would have been harder to get a conversation with you, likely. I mean, the podcast is a little bit of a disruptor, but
there you go.
Now all the people that I go to school with are just able to listen to these, and I just think it's super cool.
So yeah, absolutely. So it's along the same vein. You're spot on, and you could do this too. And so in the beginning of the year, I started sending these videos. I'd listen to the guest. I'd write down 2 or 3, and sometimes just one. If it was one really good one or 3 things that that really resonated with me, and then I would tell them how I'm going to act upon the knowledge that they imparted on me. And I'd send them a video either through email or LinkedIn, depending on if I had their information or not. And you saw on that sheet, I had it like separated out. And this is the one I sent today. It was the Katie Martell. And I said, loved your podcast, Katie. I usually try to take a quote that they said in the podcast and write the quote on there. So that's that standout portion, right? It's instantly recognizable as their own words. And when they see that video in LinkedIn and they see me pointing to it because the animated preview plays there, or they see it in their email inbox and I'm pointing to it, I get that visibility. I get that the novelty, right? I stand out, I'm different, and it's about them. So they click the play button, and I don't make it about BombBomb or, hey, I want to sell you something later. It was, hey, Katie, I loved your podcast. Here are the 2 things that I learned from the podcast today. Here's how I'm going to execute. I just wanted to reach out and say thank you. I hope you're having a great day. They're like 40 or 45 seconds long. And the responses that I get from people that honestly I should have no business being friends with or connecting with is absolutely amazing. Like they tell me that you've made my day. Like, thank you so much. Like, I've had a hard day so far and this message found me well. And like, amazing. I got one response back from Christopher Lochhead, who wrote the book Play Bigger. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but I don't know if you're allowed to curse on your show, but
go right ahead.
Was, holy shit, Steve, this is an epic email. And so just to get that kind of response, being interested. So the key is to answer, this is a very long answer to your question, But the answer to your question on how to stand out and how to get attention and how to do things differently is actually care about other people and prove to them that you listened to them, you heard them, and you understood them, because that is a primary human need, is to be heard and understood, no matter what relationship you're in, no matter if it's a husband and wife or grandparent or a friend. Everyone wants to be understood. And by doing this, I'm showing them that I understood them and they're valuable and I see them. And that's why I have a 76% response rate.
That's incredible. And I'm sure your open rate is just above that as well. I mean, so it doesn't leave much room for an open rate. But the other thing that I recognize in all of that, Steve, is that it's not scalable. And I think one thing that I think through, and I'm sure a lot of other people are thinking through, is like, how do I get this in front of 1 million people? How do I get this in front of a few million people? Like, if I get in front of 1 million people, if 100 of them say yes, that's a good day. But you can't get a video in front of 1 million people that's actually personalized the way you're doing it. That said, as I mentioned, the response rate on the email to 1 million people is probably way, 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 way lower than 75%. So it's interesting.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know. So you've been doing that for 6 months. How many do you send in a given week?
2 to 4, depending on. So I listen to podcasts every day. And
Yeah.
just being honest, not every podcast, like if I don't really feel like I learned something, and
Yeah. I mean, why would you?
I don't send it. So it equates to be about 2 to 4 a week.
Okay. Very cool. Well, I know we're coming close on time here. So the last question I want to leave you with, this is a question I ask all my guests, is about white space. You touched on this a little bit, but I'm looking for a different answer than the one you just gave. But what is one thing that is often overlooked and underutilized right now in the marketing world? What's one strategy that people aren't using that they should be?
What's one strategy that's often overlooked and underused in the marketing space? You know, it's crazy. The amount of marketing tech that has come out in the past 10 years is just staggering.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's enough of it out there that there's so many little unique, you know, like if you go like Gary V style and you hop on something quickly before anyone else, and you know, you push that because you're passionate about it. You know, besides bringing the relationship back, which we talked about pretty much the entire podcast, I would have to say the appropriate use. I'm going to go the exact opposite end of the spectrum here, the appropriate use of AI. And AI can be amazing, and automation can be amazing. And I don't know if we're probably not there yet from a technology standpoint, but having AI tell you who to reach out and make that personal connection with, that personal touch, having better scoring, like are the lead scoring that we have today. And maybe I'm not answering your question specifically because I'm going maybe a year or two in the future.
No, I see where you're going. This is good. This is good.
But a much smarter approach to lead scoring or relationship scoring. So the salespeople can spend the right time, or the marketers can spend, or the BDRs or the SDRs can spend the right time with the right people based off of triggers from a variety of different sources that go to a single database and are interpreted by a computer that give you the, hey, serve this person up, now do the legwork and connect with them on a more human level.
Yeah, I see AI as just a net positive for everybody involved, to be completely honest with you. It makes it easier on your end because you're only going to reach out to clients, or more likely to reach out to clients that are actually interested in buying your product or whatever your service happens to be. And so people that wouldn't be interested aren't going to get an email from you. So it clears up their inbox. It makes it easier for you as well. Steve, I would highly recommend this book called Hooked by Nir Eyal. I don't know if you've read it yet.
Oh yeah.
But very, very good book. It talks a lot about that theory as well. So
yeah, I just read Indistractable, which is by
I'm reading it right now.
Yeah, that's a great one. Right now. He changed the home page on the home screen on my phone, so now I have no notifications like he recommends.
Nice.
And so besides the phone one on the bottom, which is fine, and that's my habit app down
Oh,
there,
okay.
but no more notifications like on the home screen of my phone. And yeah, it's due to him. And you know what? I reached out to Near as well on this, and he did respond. So
He's a great guy.
yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, Steve, thank you for coming on the show. It was my pleasure. I learned a ton, and I'm sure that everybody that's in the audience will learn a lot from what you've said today as well. And I wish you a great rest of your week.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on, Jake. I appreciate it, and good job.